Hello and welcome, everyone, to our Residence Life webinar as part of our Accepted Student Series here at Colorado School of Mines. My name is Julia Cable, and I am an Assistant Director of Admissions here at Mines. I want to start out by welcoming you all with a huge congratulations on your acceptance to Mines. We're truly honored that you're still considering us as your school of choice for the fall of 2025. We know that if you got some good news from Mines, that you have some amazing news from other schools as well. I hope you've taken the time to celebrate all of your accomplishments so far. So let's get started by going over the agenda today. We have a packed webinar for you. We have a quick welcome and residence life presentation by Dr. Mary Elliott. Then we are going to end with a question and answer portion. So please make sure that if you have questions that you use the Q&A feature. We have many admissions counselors and residence life staff in the background answering your questions as you go. The general chat will be left for staff, so that won't be available. Afterwards, we'll go ahead and do that live Q&A. I'll take all of the most popular questions and have Dr. Elliott give us her answer as well. So now I would love to welcome Dr. Mary Elliott, Executive Director for Residence Life, to speak to you all. Please take it away.
Thanks, Julia. Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing well. My name is Mary. It's good to see you all. I don't see you. I wish I, but I'm glad you're here. I work in residence life as one of the pieces, one of the places on campus that I get to work and spend a lot of time. And we're just excited that I want to echo, we're excited that you're considering coming to Mines, and we can't wait to get here, for you to get here. Our office encompasses all the places that you could live while you're a student here at Mines. And our goal is to make sure that our students feel at home. They feel comfortable, safe, they feel seen and accepted for who they are. And this is a place where your community will support you on your journey here at Mines. I already said this, but this is a picture of Maple. You'll see a few pictures here and there of different buildings, and we'll talk about each of them. So I just wanted to start with our pillars. These are the kind of 5 values that the professional staff, the RA staff, all the folks who work in our department, and what we hope our students will learn while they're living with us. Not that you don't know these things already, but these are the things that we do everything around. Inclusion, respect, learning, community, and responsibility. So these are the 5 things that guide our work. And these are the things that guide kind of the expectations of our students who live with us, and yeah, what we're hoping that you'll learn along the way while you live with us. First, I'm going to get into it because I know this is one of the most popular things is we'll get into what our halls look like and feel like. All the residence halls on the main campus are for first-year students. You will find a home among them, no matter where you live. So I promise that's true, whether you live in a place that you've wanted to live in since day one of exploring Mines, or you end up living in a place that you weren't expecting. There are wonderful people who will be your neighbors and your floor mates, and wonderful RAs who will guide you. And we know that you'll have a really good experience while living here. Each of them are a little different. They all have a different personality. Some are, a little more loud and boisterous, and some are a little quieter. Some are they all have similar amenities to make sure that you have what you need to study, to be the best student at Mines that you possibly can. And so we'll get started on them. Maple and Weaver, these 2 buildings are suite style. So Maple, the numbers after each of the title is the number of students who live in those halls. And I've kind of rounded, but about 300 students live in Maple. And I call it a Jack and Jill setup. So there's usually 2 suites or 2 rooms, and those 2 rooms share a bathroom. Some of our singles, if you lived in a single in Maple, you would share a bathroom with another person living in a single next door to you. If you lived in a double or a triple, then you would share a bathroom with the 2 or 3 other folks who live next door to you. It's a little bit quieter just because you don't have to brush your teeth with the rest of the floor. But there's tons of shared common space, and there's a kitchen, laundry rooms. There's lots of space in Maple for people to socialize and hang out. Weaver is the building I'm looking at out my window right now. It is true suites. So you and 6 or 7 other folks share 2 bathrooms, and you have a little living room almost within your suite that you would share. And then you're there's like 4 clusters of those suites throughout the building, where you would kind of get to know folks. So it also has common laundry rooms and a central kitchen. Spruce, elm, and the traditional halls, which we lovingly call the trads, they're kind of our buildings that have common bathrooms, but they're all a little different too. Spruce is our largest building. There's 400 students who live there. It's our newest building also. It was finished in 2020, so that was the first class moved in the fall of 2020. And we designed Spruce based on the traditional halls because there's students year after year, and this continues. Our students who are really happy with where they live in the traditional halls. So we wanted to design a building that reflected all the kind of wonderful things about the traditional halls. Certainly there are shared bathrooms there. Those are gender neutral bathrooms in Spruce. The common rooms and kitchens, each floor has kitchens. And then Spruce has a big common laundry room too. That's next to like a game place and a big living room where the residents hang out. Elm has about 200 residents, and they have 2 big common rooms on each floor. One of them always ends up being kind of like the study space, and the other one ends up being the hangout space. And then the laundry rooms are on each floor in Elm, so that's a little different. And then there's a kitchen also within the common space in each floor. So each floor is a little different in Elm. And then the trads, which include the buildings Randall, Bradford, Morgan, and Thomas, that is single gender by floor. All the other buildings that I talked about are co-ed in the traditional sense, where you would live next to folks who may share a gender or different gender than you. But the traditional halls, you would live on a floor of folks who share your gender by floor. So, and those are shared bathrooms on that floor as well. And there's a laundry and a kitchen in each building there as well. So there are some things that are really similar, but they all have a little bit of a different personality. And you can find more information and pictures and things like that on our website about each of the buildings. So I wanted to touch on second year housing because this is new for you all. You are our incoming class who will live in our second year housing. And we have right now we have second year housing in 1750 Jackson Street. That was also finished in 2020. It's a new building, built a beautiful building. And then we are building right now just south of campus, across the street. It's not south of campus, but it's on the south side of campus. And it's called Building 7 right now. So if any of you have creative ideas for names, please let us know. Send us an email. But those 2 buildings will be second year students only. They are apartment style buildings. So we really think about your housing here on campus as kind of a level up in independence for your second year and then beyond. So you'll have your own apartment. Not your own apartment, you'll share that with roommates. Jackson has some studios, and they have units of 4 students. Some of those students are in single bedrooms, some of those are in double bedrooms. Building 7 also has a very limited studio apartments, but most of the building is 4-person apartments. Again, some with double rooms and some with 4 single rooms. And then for beyond your second year, we're just finishing right now a really big building project called that's opening this fall, called the Village at Mines Park. We've had housing at Mines Park for several years before I got to Mines 11 years ago. And now we've kind of imagine what that community can look like. And I'm really excited for this to open next year. So starting next year, that will house juniors, seniors, and graduate students, as well as students with partners and families. Right now, we had so many students who are second year students who wanted to live on campus that we will have quite a large second year population up at Mines Park this year, but only because our building number 7 isn't finished yet. And those buildings are studios, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, all furnished units. All the and then 1750 and Building 7 are also furnished completely. So all of the housing where you would live on campus would be completely furnished for you. You wouldn't have to worry about that. Okay, so now what to do? Because I know that sometimes housing can cause some anxiety, and we really want to make it easy for you. I will tell you right now, and I'll keep referring to our websites, but we have a really robust website with lots of information on it. So I just encourage you to spend some time in there. Spend some time looking at the building, spend some time looking through kind of the FAQs, all of those things have been really thoughtfully put together on our website so that you know what to expect. And it will walk through what's called the first year timeline. So that's an important thing for you. And I have some slides in here that explain it. So what to do now? This is what I want you to pay attention to. And I put a QR code. And let me tell you, I am Gen X. And so I'm really proud of myself for putting this QR code out there. Some of your parents will think that's funny. Um, Things to pay attention to now in the next few months. We kind of break our housing process for first year students into phases. So we have 3 phases. Phase 1 is your application. This starts April 1st, so we're almost there. You can complete yours through the Residence Life Housing Portal. That'll be on your my.mines.edu page. For those of you who haven't yet committed to Mines or decided that Mines is your place, this is where, when you do hopefully decide that Mines is your place, this is where you'll kind of access a lot of the things on campus that you'll need to do. The housing application being one of them. You'll get lots of information about this and instructions, so don't worry right now. But that's one of the biggest things that we want you to do starting April 1st. Now I say starting April 1st, but you'll notice that my first bullet point after phase 1 says April 1st through May 19th. The application is open that whole time. So over a month and a half, the application is open. That's because we know some of you will wait until May 1st to make that decision, and that's okay. That's great. This is not if I click the button first, I get the first housing. That's not how this works. The queue for housing for first year students is based on when you decide to commit to Mines. And many students, don't worry, wait until that May 1st deadline because they're weighing their choices and they're trying to figure out financial aid. So don't feel like you're behind. If you don't fill out your application until May 18th or 19th, that's okay. In fact, for some of you who maybe you're like, oh, I've decided to commit to Mines, and you push the button, you pay your deposit. That's wonderful. We're excited that you're going to be here. And software is magical, but it sometimes takes our systems a little while to talk to each other. So what you're going to tell admissions, yep, I'm coming. That's awesome. And then it'll take a day or two for you to be in all of our other systems. So just be patient. If you deposit on like April 29th, let's say, and you want to go in immediately and pick your room, you won't have access. So just give it a day or two and then you'll have access. We get a lot of calls of people freaking out because they're like, I deposited and I'm coming, but I'm not, but I can't do this. And that's okay. It's just, it takes a while. All of our systems update kind of overnight. So it'll take a little while. Just be patient. Um, I'll talk more about our signature learning communities, but that's what SLC means. Those applications are due by May 5th, so that even again, if you wait until May 1st to decide about Mines and you want to be part of an SLC, we would love to have you apply. You just have to apply by May 5th. So you have to do that a little earlier than you do the whole rest of the application. May 1st is a deadline I want you to pay attention to. So not only is May 1st the day that your deadline to kind of deposit at Mines or wherever school you're going to go to. May 1st is also the day that we recommend that if you have a disability that you need an accommodation for housing, May 1st is the date that you'll really want to have registered or at least talked to our Disability Support Services office by that date. Because oftentimes students who need an accommodation, we have to physically go in and put them in a room that's the right room for them. And we can't do that after our other processes have started. So we want to make sure that you get what you need And that's why we ask that May 1st, you've talked to our Disability Support Services office and gotten that ball rolling. Okay, that was a lot in phase one. Again, this is on our website. This is not the last time you'll hear this. Phase two is where you might decide to find a roommate. This is an optional phase. If you're someone who is like, I'm gonna, I'll just see who I end up with, that's great. You can choose that. However, if you're someone who's like, gosh, I ran into someone or I've met someone online and we seem like we'd be really good roommates, that's wonderful. Phase two is when you can choose your roommate. We also have kind of a roommate matching. In fact, I think it's called the roommate matching portal, where in your, we call it the portal. So in your application portal, you will be able to go in and see other students who have filled out their applications. So during this phase two, you'll be able to see all other residents who will be here. And you'll also see a compatibility score. So you'll know, because based on the questions that you filled out in your application, you'll be able to see what other folks, how compatible you are with other people. And so you might see, oh gosh, that person, we're at like a 70% compatibility. And maybe I'll reach out to them and say, hey, are you rooming with someone? Have you thought about that? That's your time to kind of find other people if you want to find them before the process. During that time, all you have to do is let us know, hey, I found a roommate and I know who I want to live with. You'll put that into your application through the portal. And then we will know during phase three to give you all the same time slot. So you can do that through, from May 19th through June 10th. So again, you have time to kind of look around, see if you meet people, those sorts of things. Then phase three. Phase three is actually where you're going to pick your room and you're going to sign your housing contract. So June 13th, you'll get an email letting you know when your time slot will open. There's not an end to the time slots, but you'll want to act within your time slot relatively soon. So you will let you know when your time slot will open, and time slots will be between June 16th and June 30th. So I guess there is an end, but it's not like you'll have a time slot on June 16th from 7 to 8 in the morning. That's not how they work. It'll just open up at a certain time. You'll have, like I said, if you've told us who you're going to room with and they've told us that you're going to room with you and you've chosen each other, you will both get the same time slot. So you'll be able to choose a room. It's kind of like online shopping. You'll go in, you'll be able to see every room that has not been taken, and you'll click and say, oh, Elm 208, that looks like a great room. And your roommate will be like, oh, found it. And you both click, voila, it'll come out and you'll actually check out. You'll pick your meal plan at that time. You might apply for a storage locker lottery if you need one of those, and you'll sign your contract at that time. So it really is easy, but you just have to follow the steps. So it's pretty easy way to do that. After June 30th, so you'll feel like, ooh, I finished it. I have a room, all is well. I'm done. I can just show up now on my first day of class. No, that's not true. We're going to send you lots of information. So the admissions team has probably told you this, but we certainly want you to check your email pretty diligently over the next from now on. So your Minds email, things will come to your Minds email. We'll want you to check that. Make sure you're checking those. Most importantly, we will send you a move-in. We'll send you move-in information. You'll also have a time slot for that. You'll get a welcome from your RLC. You'll get a welcome from your RAs. We'll send you information. So we just want you to check families and support system. This is something you can remind your student to do. Okay, I told you I'd talk a little bit more about the student or the signature learning communities. And so that's what these are. And this list, this is all of them. There's another QR code, Yay Mary Gold Star, that you can click to take you to our SLC page. And there you'll kind of be able to explore a little more about what each of those are. We love the signature learning communities because they are they're a great way for your residence hall to feel like a small community within your living community. Some of these are you would pick a community where maybe you share something in common or an interest or special interest with other people. Maybe it's a part of your identity that you share. And then we have another one that's for our that's called Honors Explore. So if you're part of the Grandy or the I'm forgetting the other one. I'm so sorry. I'm having a moment here where I can't remember. But if you're part of one or two honors programs, and you're probably applying for those two right now, if you're part of those two, there's a living component that you can choose to be a part of. You don't have to be a part of it, but you can choose to be a part of it. Okay, those are the SLCs. Again, check out the website for those. They're pretty cool. They each have a faculty member who's kind of, we call them faculty friends, who hangs out with these students and does some programming with them. Many of the RAs, who are the RAs in these communities, were part of these communities as first year students also. So they are kind of like passing on what they loved about their community to their incoming students. And I will tell you that students who live in these are really happy with these communities. So if it sounds like something you're into, I totally encourage you to apply. Just don't forget that that deadline's a little earlier than our general deadline. Okay, I wanted to talk a little bit about what to expect about living on campus because it's a big transition to go from where you live at home to living here at Mines. And so I don't know if any of you have seen this before, but this is kind of where we live. And we are here to take care of your safety, your security. We will give you a great place to live that is comfortable, that allows you to study when you need to, that allows you to meet people, that allows you to start to build connections and a sense of community here at Mines. So those first three we got down. And then part of the next two are ones that you'll work on while you're here through your whole journey at Mines. But we will certainly take care of you on those bottom ones to give you a really good foundation so that you can grow and be who you're going to be here at Mines. We kind of do all of our work within the residence halls, and all of our programs and the events that we put on are all based on what we call our residential learning model, or RLM. We have a lot of acronyms. And our 5 pillars that I talked about before, those are just reflected here and kind of what we do. So you can see where we build these in. Again, it's around respect for each other, inclusion of everybody, making sure that you can learn from people who are different than you, making sure that you are comfortable and willing to share your background with other folks too. Community and responsibility. This is, you develop a sense of kind of more responsibility. You have to, clean your sheets. You have to clean up your room because you live with someone else. Those sorts of things. And being responsible for who you are, that helps build character and helps build your own sense of self when you're here. We will provide you with an awesome community of people, and you'll get to know them. And then learning, it's important to us that you learn while you're here. We'll offer you lots of options for programs that you can go to or learning events, and your RAs will have great conversations with you where you'll learn from them and they'll learn from you. But I will tell you that the learning that takes place in the residence halls, and this is why I work in residence life, is so valuable. You will absolutely learn amazing things in your classes here at Mines, and you will leave here being like amazing engineers and computer scientists, and you will just be amazing. And we'll help you learn from conversations that you have with your peers at like 3 o'clock in the morning in the hallway. You'll learn other things about life, and you'll make some mistakes. We'll be here to support you. Those sorts of things. That's what you'll learn while living with us. So we do have policies. There are things that you have to follow. You can also find our handbook online on our website. It's available for you to look through, and we expect our students to know them. So they're in place for your safety, your security, so that we can build this community that's so great. You could be in a single, double, or triple room. So you could have no roommates, or you could have 2 roommates. And this will be very different from living at home. So your job kind of right now, as you're getting ready for this, I know you're finishing high school and there's so much going on there, so you don't have to think about this yet. After you finish high school and you're hanging out with your friends all summer, take a few minutes to just think, okay, how can I prepare to be flexible and to be the best roommate I can be and to be the best community member I can be when you get here. It's one of those things that is a skill building moment to ask for what you need in a way that is respectful and thoughtful of the other person, and expect that you should get what you need. I will tell you that college and living in the residence halls is what you make of it. Your choices to engage and go to things and get to know people will enhance your experience here at Minds as a whole. Just as your choices to engage in class and be a great team member for your group projects, all of that will make you better. And so we promise that if you engage and you put yourself out there, it'll come back to you tenfold. So introduce yourself to someone new. I just always say, don't miss the opportunity to say yes to something that might scare you a little bit. And just know that you all have your own journey, and your journey is going to be different than your friends from high school, where you are going, and that if you're going to different schools or if they're not going to a school, make this your own process. Like, it's an important one for you to build and to learn, and we're excited to help you along this journey. We're excited for you to be an Ordinger. So we're going to send you lots of information. Like I said, check your email. Before move-in, accept your invitation for your residence hall Canvas class. So you'll notice that when you're a student here, all of your classes will be listed in what we call Canvas. And that's just kind of your student portal. All your assignments will be in it, all of your, like, you can submit homework in Canvas, but Residence Life and your residence hall will also have a Canvas page where we will tell you about events and maybe ask you about what you're doing and check in with you and make announcements. So accept the invitation to that class. Actively monitor your Minds email. We will stop sending emails and when I say we will stop, we will never. Residence Life will only send emails to your my.minds.edu email address. So make sure you're checking that one. And go through the Residence Life website so you're pretty well informed about what's going on. You will hear from us in early July. After everybody has chosen their room, we'll be able to, like, things will calm down a little bit, and then we will reach out to you again and let you know when your move-in day is. Your move-in day will be either the 16th or the 17th of August. If you need to make plans early, I know some of you have to fly in, those sorts of things, plan for the whole weekend, and then you can just show up on your day. So if you want to plan on just getting here for the weekend and staying Saturday and Sunday, you'll be able to come at your allotted time. Follow that admissions timeline that you've been given. When you move into the halls, we'll give you like the key to your room, but we'll also give you your blaster card. And that's huge because that's sometimes the key to your I mean, it's the key to your building, blaster card, but it's also your key to get a meal. It's your only like identification here on campus. So it's important that you get your blaster card. And we can't even give you your blaster card if you don't send in your photo. So that's all those things that admissions tells you to do those things. And then communicate with your roommate or your roommates. Make sure that you're talking through, gosh, who you are, share who you are, share what you're excited about, share what you're afraid of. That's okay. That's how you build relationships when you're a little vulnerable. You'll be able to get their contact information through the portal, and then talk through, gosh, what are you bringing? What are you going to bring? You don't need two giant televisions in your room. In fact, most of our students don't have televisions in their rooms. Most of them are just laptop watchers if they're watching movies. We have a lot of TVs in the halls for you. Talk through your expectations, like what you're hoping to get involved with, those sorts of things. Having someone who's by your side and cheering you on is always a good thing. And again, share who you are. So move-in day and Hell of a Welcome. Hell of a Welcome is our orientation program. It encompasses everything from move-in to Orediger Camp, to the days after Orediger Camp where you're learning on campus, to your first few days of school and class. So again, August 16th and 17th, you'll move in because everyone goes to Orediger Camp. We're really excited about it. We take everyone, your whole class, will go up to Estes Park together and have a blast at camp. Expect for move-in day, it's Colorado in August. And if you're not from Colorado, basically what that means is it's more than likely going to be hot during the day. Drink your water, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. We will have volunteers to help you. It's a kind of a unique thing about Minds, and our admission staff are some of the people who help put that all together. But we when you come in at your time slot to move in, you'll have a bunch of upper class students who are there and who are saying hey to you. They'll take your stuff out of your car, they'll put it into a big blue bin, and they will take it up to your room for you. So, and then it's done. And then all your job is one of the people who came with you will park the car, and then you'll get to go up to your room, and everybody will meet in your room, and your stuff will be there. It works beautifully because we have so many upper class students who are so thrilled to welcome you all to campus. I've never worked at a campus who has been of upper class students who are so excited to welcome the incoming class. So, and they just volunteer their time to be able to help you. And they'll be here all day helping to unload the cars, and they're so psyched to do it. So they will help you. You pretty much don't have to lift a lot of fingers on your move-in day because your job is to get your room settled, and you'll go to convocation, and then your job is to say goodbye and start this journey with us. My only request is that you stick to your assigned time. It's important that you do that. That's what makes it run smoothly. So thank you. You'll need to bring a photo ID. Don't forget that. And label all your belongings. I will send you lots of instructions about this. Our team sends you lots of instructions about this, but label your belongings so those upper class students know where to go. You'll follow the instructions that you receive from our new Student and Transition Services Office, NEST. You'll follow the instructions for Hell of a Welcome. And then your job over the first few days is just to have fun and go to stuff and engage and meet people and say hi. And it's overwhelming, and it can be overwhelming, but it's also a really wonderful way for you to get to know Minds right away. So I just hope that you will engage in that process. Set aside what you think is cool, or what you think or what you think you look like if you think you look foolish, and just engage and have fun. Like most people who do that just get a ton out of it. We all want you to know that you are never climbing alone here at Minds. So, especially in residence life, we have a ton of people who are here to support you. So, our resident advisors are upper class students who live with you. They'll live down the hall, and they are here to support you, to be a mentor, to be a guide, to answer your questions, to give you study tips. They're awesome, and they will put on programs for you and get to know you. And they are just really excited. We just finished hiring all of them, and they're so excited to be able to serve you as your RA. We have a role called the Residence Life Coordinator role, and those are professional staff members who also live in the halls. And these folks have master's degrees in college students. So they have a master's degree in higher ed and student affairs administration, which is the work that we do. And we all have master's degrees in that. So much. We like college students so much that we went extra school just to hang out with you all. And the rest of the team, myself, and the rest of the team here are here to support you and work with you and make sure you have a really wonderful experience. You will learn lessons, you will have challenges, you'll have ups and downs, and we will celebrate your ups and we will support you in your downs. And so I just want you to know that all of us who work in our department are here for you to make sure that you can be the best at your experience here at Minds. All right, that's it for me. We can do questions now if you want to.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Elliott. There's so much important information in there. So we're going to go ahead and look through some of the questions and kind of ask them live. But first, thank you to everyone who joined a bit late as well. Don't worry, we're recording the webinar and it will be available on the Minds Admissions YouTube page by next Wednesday. As a reminder, students will also get access to their Minds email address once you decide to commit to Minds. So there are a couple of timeline things there. And kind of on that note, can you help students who may need until May 1st to make their decision and who are nervous about starting the housing application?
Sure. It's open until May 19th for you, exactly for student, because May 9th you should take as long as you need to take to make the right decision for you. And we want to support you in that. So you do not need to start it on April 1st. Please don't worry. Wait until May 1st. And then once you've decided to come to Minds, give it a day or two again, and then on May 3rd, jump in, fill out the application. It's the same as filling it out on April 1st. I promise. So, and know that there are many of you who are also waiting until May 1st to do that. So, housing is always, it always causes everybody a little stress, but we want to make it as easy for you as possible. So that's why May 19th really and honestly is just the day it closes. There's no, it's not putting you in any sort of order. So you'll do great. Take your time to fill it out. And I will say, families, parents in particular, I know it is very tempting for you to fill this out for your student. Please, 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 students, do this for yourself. You and be honest when you fill it out. Because like I said, the answers that you put in will put you will give you a score with other people. So if you kind of say, if you go to bed every night at midnight and you're kind of messy, but you have big dreams for college and you're like, I am going to go to bed at 10 p.m. and I'm going to be very neat. But if you can't hold up your end of the bargain and your roommate was matched with you because you said you were neat and went to bed at 10 p.m., both of you are not going to be very happy. So be honest, fill it out, but you have plenty of time to do so.
Such a good point. Thank you so much. Okay, so can we have had a few questions about bringing a car to campus? Is that
Mhm.
allowed?
You know, our parking office oversees that. I know that there is I don't know what the answer is for next year. I know that they have we have limited parking on campus. Ask anybody who goes here now that has come early to try to find a parking space. So I know that it is limited, especially for first year students. Please see the parking office, or you can call and ask them, or you can look at their website. And I'm sorry that I don't know that answer. But I'm not sure what they're doing for first year students next year, but I know it will be limited. So it may be a lottery system, but more than likely to make sure that we have parking spots for people who need them. And where it's not just a nice to have, but for someone, hey, say who needs to go see a doctor regularly and transportation to their doctor is hard to use public transportation. Those are the folks who need a car more than like me, who is like, maybe I just want to go to the movies every once in a while. So, but yeah. So check with the parking office. And I'm sorry, I don't have that information for everybody.
Oh, that's a great resource. Thank you. Along those lines, too, we've had a lot of questions about bikes on campus,
Mhm.
kind of other transportation. Can you talk a little bit about storage in the dorms or how that works in the residence hall?
Sure, sure. Yeah. So I touched on it really briefly, and there's a lot of information. So this is a good question. Yes, bring your bikes. Mine's is a really bike friendly campus. We have bike racks outside everywhere, and many of our buildings have storage lockers. So I talked about storage lockers. So in those, they're rooms where we have bike lockers, and then rooms where we also have some storage, actually like lockers, um, for equipment that you might have. So some of those are kind of ski lockers and like for skis and snowboards. Some of them might be for your hockey equipment if you're a hockey player and they're smelly, so put them in a locker. Bikes, we have bike lockers and we do a lottery for that, and that's available in your application, in your housing application. So if you feel more comfortable and you really want to try to have a bike locker indoors, then fill that out in the lottery, and there is a charge for that, which I believe is $150 for the year. So there is a charge for the indoor bike lockers, and there's a lottery for it. So, but I think most folks who have entered that lottery in the past have been able to have a spot. It might not be in your particular building. It might be in a building close by. We try really hard to make sure they're kind of close by where you'll be, but we have lots of bike storage and spaces all over the place. Bring your bike.
Oh, awesome. I think along that note, too, can you talk a little bit about safety on campus and what that looks
Absolutely.
like?
Yeah, that's big. So I mentioned the RAs and the RLCs and the residence life staff, and I for all of those folks, we all serve on call. So we have an on-call duty rotation for the RAs, and then we have different tiers of that. So I'm on call right now for the campus. And each RA has an on-call for like their building. So that where we have a phone number that if there's an emergency or something like that, you would call the RA on-call phone number and you would get someone to help you. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That is true. So we have lots of layers of support if there are emergencies like that within the halls. And I will say also, we have an incredible police department or public safety department. And our Mines public safety is a full-blown police department. And they care so much about our students. They spend time in the halls with the RAs, they come to programs, they could be police officers anywhere else. And they choose to be here at Mines because of this unique opportunities there are to like just get to know and support students. So we have them, they're very present. Your students, you will get to know our officers. And then I mentioned your blaster card also. Your blaster card is the key to your building. Each of our buildings is locked down at all times. So you need the key to get in. Parents, you can't just walk in your student's building after moving day. On moving day, you can walk in. After moving day, actually at 5 o'clock on moving day, you can't walk in after that. You need your student with you to do that. Because that's how we make sure that people are in the places where they need to be. And if you don't belong there, that you can't get in. So your blaster card is what gets you into your buildings, and then it will get you onto your floor. And then in some cases, in Spruce, it gets you into your room. But in other buildings, you'll have a key to your room. But we take security and safety very seriously on campus. We, as a community that really cares about each other, I am really thankful that this community is one where people look out for each other and they say, hey, that doesn't seem right. I need to tell someone about that. Or they step in when something doesn't seem right. So safety is really important, and it is all of our responsibility to have a safe environment. But that is certainly something we're proud of, is that we have a really safe space. I do encourage you, all schools have a Clery report or a safety report that's generally on a public safety or a police department's website. Every school is required by federal law to report what crimes have happened on that campus in the past. So you can look that up and see, okay, is this really a safe place? So I encourage you to do that with any school that you're looking at.
I could not agree more. That's definitely how we feel here, which is amazing. I want to switch gears a little bit. How do students get accommodations
Mhm.
specifically for like allergies, for example?
Sure. All accommodations, if you need an accommodation, they have to go through our Office of Disability Service. So that's why that May 1st deadline is an important one. And it's a guideline, it's not a deadline, but we want to make sure that all of our students who need an accommodation and have the backing to be able to get that go through our office, the Office of Disability Support Services, and then the Office of Disability Support Services, DSS, I'll call them for short. DSS gives us the information about what accommodations students need. So we don't get the personal information about our students' allergies or any sort of disability. We don't get that information. We just get, here's what that student needs. And sometimes that's a single bedroom. Sometimes that's a bedroom with a bathroom or a bathroom nearby. Sometimes it has to do with food allergies. And though food allergies, I encourage students first to meet with our Sodexo is the company that provides our dining here on campus. We have a dietitian who works with us. I encourage students who have food allergies to meet with those folks first and see how those can be accommodated. We can accommodate everything. We have many students with lots of different allergies who live really beautifully here on campus. But meet with our food providers first, and you can reach out to them anytime talk to them about what's going on. You can meet with the dietitian. And then if you need some other accommodation, then contact Disability Support Service. So if it's just for a food allergy, try Sodexo first.
Awesome. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. There is
Mhm.
questions about that. So what about students who are studying abroad? Do they still fill out the same application? Can you talk a little bit more about that process?
Yeah, absolutely. So students study abroad sometimes before they get to Mines, which is so cool in our program with France. And they absolutely will fill out the application because what the application does is say, "Hi, I'm coming to Mines and I'm going to need housing at some point." We get from the office of our international students and scholars office, they let us know who's studying abroad. So you'll fill out the application and then we'll get that list from them and we'll say, "Oh, Julia is studying abroad, so we don't need to make sure she has housing right now because she's not going to go through phase one, two, three, four. We're going to make sure when she comes back from France that she has a spot." And so we'll be in communication with those students and with Mary in the office so she can be in touch with those students as well. If you study abroad in your second or your junior year or something like that, and you live with us or you would want to live with us, then you would, before you come back from being abroad, you would fill out the application. You would just do it at a different time. But for our first year students, we want you to fill out the application now.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, definitely want to let you know that you are coming and you will need housing. Super important.
Yep.
Can you talk a little bit about what is allowed in the dorms, like mini fridges, microwaves? Can you talk about the laundry situation, all those little details?
Yeah, sure. This is on our website. So if I don't touch on everything that you're worried about, it's on our website. And I think we actually have a list of kind of what to bring and what not to bring sort of things. Um, yes, you can bring a refrigerator. Yes, you can bring a microwave. Um, those are great. We ask that you not bring a full-size refrigerator. We give guidelines on how big it can be, but a typical like little refrigerator you can have in your room. My only suggestion is to talk to roommates about how many of those you have, because three of those, if you have three of you in your room, that takes up a lot of space. So just talk through who's bringing what. Again, microwave, same thing. So if it's something that has an open coil or a bulb that would heat something, think through, those things are not allowed. You are now going to live in a space with hundreds of other people, and you don't want to be the one to burn down the place. So, nothing with an open coil. A lot of people ask me about crock pots a lot, which I'm always surprised about, but you could bring a crock pot, but you won't need a crock pot. So, some of the things that you're used to doing at home that maybe you spend time doing at home will be a little different here at Mines. And so if you get here and you're like, "Gosh, I wish I had that crock pot," someone can get you one. We'll figure it out. Um, but yeah, so nothing with an open coil, nothing like halogen lights. Those are still a no-no. No candles, nothing that burns. I don't care if you just want to smell it. We just say, please don't have them. So things like that. Nothing that's like a tool, a soldering iron. You're going to be Mines students, so you have things in your room sometimes that other college students don't. Don't have those in your room. We have lots of maker spaces and other labs where you can go crazy and just make all the things you want. You do not need to do those things in your room where you could potentially catch something on fire. So that's what not to bring. Otherwise, bring what makes you feel comfy and at home, and edit. So when you get everything together and you're like, "I want to bring this whole room," and you're thinking of renting a U-Haul, think again. We will ask you, one of the communications that you will get from us when we're talking about move-in is a vehicle. So you trust me, it is too much if you have a U-Haul. Um, it's a small space and you just don't need that much stuff. So please be thoughtful of that, but we will allow you one vehicle for move-in. So it not a brigade of 4 vehicles with all your stuff in it. So it just helps run things smoother, and you really don't need as much as you think you need. So bring your bedding that makes you feel cozy, bring your favorite clothes that are the ones that you live in, bring a nice thing to wear once in a while, like bring a few nice things, but otherwise, most of our students wear the same t-shirt basically every day. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you get so many t-shirts.
And we give you a ton of t-shirts. We will actually, like the first week you're here, I think you have 5 t-shirts, maybe
Oh,
6. So you could just wear all those.
yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Laundry. You asked about laundry, Julia.
Yeah.
Laundry is included in the price that you pay for your housing. So laundry is free. We have an app that you can download that'll let you know kind of when laundry machines are free. So those are kind of posted in the laundry room. So you can be like, oh, the washing machine's free. I can run in now. And we just ask people to be thoughtful of the next person using the washing machine. But the laundry rooms are actually a good place to socialize too.
That is some good technology. I love that. That's so cool. Um, Speaking of kind of moving heat in August, we've had a lot of questions. Can you clarify a little bit about air conditioning, especially from people maybe outside Colorado too?
Yeah, absolutely. So sure, August and September are definitely warm here. We have air conditioning in all of our halls. I will say in the traditional halls, we do not have air conditioning in the individual rooms. So honestly, this is one of the reasons why people get to know each other really well in the trads is because they leave their doors open so they can get cool from the air conditioning. So you get to know your neighbors a little better. Bring a fan if you live in the traditional halls. At night in Colorado, this is my favorite thing about Colorado. I was born and raised here, and then I moved to St. Louis, and I was like, why is it still 100 degrees at midnight? Because of humidity. We don't have humidity really here. So at night, when the sun goes down, it gets much cooler, and it'll lower 10 to 15 degrees every night. So it gets cooler. Fans work really well. And generally, by the time we're mid-September, the days are a little cooler too. And so it's pretty easy to do. Occasionally, we have blasts of heat, those sorts of things, but I will say lots of people live in Colorado and don't have air conditioning in their houses, including me. So it works out. It might be uncomfortable like if you're sitting there in the heat of the day, but for the most part, the air conditioning in the hallways really does the job in the trads.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna pose the very last question. Can you remind us a little bit about when on April 1st the housing application opens?
I believe 10 a.m.
Okay.
So you're probably going to be in school that day. Again, you don't have to hit the button at 10 a.m. on April 1st. It will be open for you. It makes no difference when you fill it out. So April 1st, 10 a.m. is when we'll open it. I think my staff might hate me if I'm saying the wrong time. It'll be on our website if I'm saying the wrong time. It's either 10 or noon. I apologize if I'm telling you the wrong time. But it'll be available for you until the 19th. So I know no one believes me when I tell them they don't have to do it at the moment it opens. But probably it's better if you don't. So relax, take your time, do it April 1st when you get home from school.
Perfect. And you get some confirmation, 10 a.m. Mountain Time.
Thank
Amazing.
you.
No, I can do it. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. I have a few last reminders to talk to everybody about as some next steps, and it will be on the next slide. And then as a reminder too, students are able to access the housing application once they've already committed to Mines. So if you're wondering how to do that, you can go on your applicant portal and you can submit your decision whenever you're ready. Please remember that you have until May 1st. That application is a window. It's open until May 19th. You have time. So please take as much time as you need, and we'll make sure that you understand everything you need to do as your next steps. But this is a huge time, very exciting. So I wanted to also, if you could go to the next slide, please.
Yes.
Just remind
Oh,
you.
sorry.
Oh, no, no problem. Please make sure you're reading your emails. Super important. I know that mine sends quite a few emails. You will get those to your personal email until you decide to come and commit to Minds. Then you'll have access to your Minds email account, and then you'll get emails through there. So please don't worry if you don't have access yet, if you're still making your decision. Regularly check your ORDigger next steps. So that is in your applicant portal. It's even sectioned out by month to see what you need to be doing. You can always email us, call us in admissions for any next steps. April 1st, that housing application opens. May 1st is that National Decision Day. So please keep those important dates in mind. Watch your email for registration information from NEST for the new Student Transition Services webinars. Those will happen during the summer, and that will probably launch around May 1st. So that will go to the Minds email once you've decided to commit to Minds, so keep an eye out on that. Connect with different student communities you're excited about on social media. Get involved, get excited, connect with other students. Please ask as many questions as you can along the way. You cannot over communicate. This is a huge decision, so we want to make sure that every single question is answered. And please keep in touch with us as well. So please don't feel bad if you have any questions, if you need to reach out. If you have specific residence hall questions, please reach out to housing. Go to housing@minds.edu as that email, and then you can get those questions answered in depth. So if you do have questions, let them know. But thank you so much for joining us today. Again, this whole webinar is being recorded and it will post to our admissions YouTube page, so Minds Admissions YouTube page, by next Wednesday. So within a week, if you need to go over any details, thank you so much. Even if you did come a little bit later, we really appreciate you being here. And thank you so much to Dr. Elliott again for all the really exciting, important information. And please let us know if you have any other questions. Have a great night.
Thanks, y'all.